Hey guys, it's Mervin. Welcome to a stormy video blog. Very rough. It has been snowing over there, everywhere, right here, even over in the background there and beyond. Just a lot of snow going on all through the bushes. Today I want to talk to you about basic survival planning in 2023 and beyond. And I want to talk to you about envisioning and preparing for a survival situation in a post-pandemic world. Okay, post-pandemic, it's winter. Okay, I want you to hear this rushing wind out here for a second, and then I'm gonna get into my subject matter. Okay, listen to this wind. I want you to envision living with your family or by yourself. If you don't have a family, I don't plan on having one. Okay, listen to this wind. Very rough weather, okay? Yeah, so as you can see, I brought the camera to a closer location up here, and you can see where all the snow-capped mountains, okay, have been snowing a lot, and for the past 3 days a heavy snowstorm here in our vicinity. So this had me thinking about this subject matter when it comes to survival. If people would stop to envision, the storms are still on, things are falling down, I've got to be safe. If people would envision living in a post-pandemic situation when it comes to having to survive, okay? That's what I want to talk about, because survival to a lot of people sounds like just pure garbage, I would say. People dismiss the fact because they believe that it will not happen to them, and it will not happen around them and in their lifetime. And so people don't want to come to the reality of the possibility. Okay. It is very possible that snow and ice. We've been really cold here for the last few days. 10, 20 below zero. Okay. Very cold. And so people dismiss the idea. Now, quickly and before I say anything else, what I want to tell you is, if you are not prepared for the eventuality of us living in a post-pandemic era, if you're not thinking about getting survival planning and preparation minded, okay, to live in a situation like this, then you're a sitting duck, as I said in other videos. What you want to do is be able to live in the cold. You want to be able to live in the heat and in between. Okay? Some people don't have the necessary clothing. Okay? Because they live in a tropical country and they don't think about weather's rapidly shifting because of certain global events, maybe not cataclysmic, but semi-cataclysmic, if there's such a word, and very deadly occurrences happening in our world. People don't think about this. People think that because they live in a tropical climate, everything will be fine and dandy throughout their entire life. Well, Yeah, this could
be true, but the opposite could also be true.
So you have to think clothing and food, and you have to think clothing and food in preparation in the adverse conditions. So if you live in heat, you want to get some protective clothing, should in case the weather fall way below the temperatures for a long time that you and your family and all the inhabitants of that region are used to. The next thing you want to think about is food, guys, food. I will deal more with food, but a lot of people, I talk about it in another video, and I'm going to reiterate it now quickly here. People don't know to work the land. They don't know to think
survival, land, okay? When I always go
back to Bible and scriptures because that's the foundation of my life. When God began created man and woman, the first place he put them was on the land, in a garden, in a place
called Eden, the Garden of Eden. He didn't put them in a nice big fancy utopic city. God could have done that. God can do anything.
Now, this video is not about creation.
This video is about you, the creature,
which is a part of the bigger picture, which is creation. And if you and I are not prepared, or we are
ill prepared for the
eventuality of a survival situation in a post-pandemic world, then you will be a sitting duck. Medicine, food, water, clothing, okay, and hygiene falls in the area of medicine. You want to have food to sustain you for a long time, okay? You want to stay healthy and you want to be thriving rather than just leaning up against the wall, metaphorically so to speak, in a survival situation. You want to be thriving. So what do I mean by this? Well, the power grid could go down, but you're still not cold, you're still not wanting to cook, heating to cook food, and you feel a slight discomfort.
But it's not total discomfort, because total discomfort will be the inability to respond to the situation. So you won't be able to provide heating, and you won't be able to provide as a subsequent
action cooking.
And you won't be able to do so for one meal.
Much less of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Now, what are some eventualities that will lead to a post-pandemic world and surviving in a post-pandemic world in 2023 and beyond? Well, guys, there are a lot of things escalating in the world. Right now, we're on the brink, as never before. They have moved the hand, I don't know how many seconds closer. They have a hand, a clock, which measures the proximity and the possibility and probability of us getting into a nuclear war in the world. And they have moved that hand some seconds, you can go and research it, but they have moved it closer to the eventuality of the possibility of a nuclear war. Now, some people, okay, and I am one of them, but I'm getting prepared, I'm not there yet. I don't know much. At the time when I was a young soldier, I didn't know anything much about NBC, which is nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. But when I went to United Kingdom to study at the Royal School of Military Engineering in 1999 and 2000, I learned about
some modules about preparing for nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare. Okay, I did that training, and I remember a lot of that training. And one of the basics is protective clothing. Okay, you need protective clothing. You need your mask, just like how you have masks for other stuff going on in the world. You need your mask. Okay,
you need your protective clothing
to protect your skin. You need special food in special containers. You need to store water in special containers. Now, I'm not a big nuclear event expert, so I'm just touching on this topic superficially. It is possible. Okay, it's not doom and gloom, and I'm not frightening you into a situation, but I'm telling you it's possible. Okay, we are reaching closer to the probability, the possibility of
these occurrences. Now, nobody wants a nuclear war or nuclear situation. Nobody.
I believe
Soldiers are the people that don't want it the most, and then leaders of countries don't want it. They have a lot of leaders that talk big and talk that they are ready and they would use nuclear, but the truth is nobody wants nuclear. Who would want a nuclear world as opposed to what they're seeing here? No one in their right mind or minds. But the thing is, it's possible. And you, the small man, you and I, the small man, and you, the small woman out there, and the children out there.
If you, the parent, and the adults don't think for the children and the younger people around in your household and your family, extended family, about the eventuality and the possibility of the world going into a nuclear war, so now you will have to do completely different measures. First of all, you will have to be off the surface of the earth. I don't know you know that, if you know that. Depending on the your proximity, to where the initial blast will take place, you will have to be under the ground, okay? And you will, and if you're in a survival zone, okay, you might not be able to surface for a couple days, 3 days at least, okay? That much I know. And when you re-emerge after the blast, and let's say you survive, let's say you had everything in place, all your planning, all your bunkers on your farm, where you're going to dig your bunker, where you're going to put your overhead protection in your bunker, all of this. I'm going to touch on these later on, but where you have your food storage, your water storage, your medicinal storage, and all of these things. Let's say you manage to survive the initial blast, and you come out 3 days, a week later, everything out here is going to be contaminated. There's no going to no supermarket. There probably won't even be a supermarket because nobody will be in the supermarkets. And even if the physical supermarkets still exist and they didn't receive a physical blast from a nuclear attack, but everything will be inside and they will be contaminated. Okay, filled with radiation. Okay, so you can't go out there and touch nothing and buy nothing and start moving up and around as normal as you once lived before in a normal world like this. So if you want to prepare, if you want to listen to this video and say, you know what, I think Marvin is talking about something sensible here, and I'm going to take some time every week, 1 day a week, and I'm going to start preparing. I'm going to be a prepper. I'm going to start preparing for the event of man-made or otherwise natural disasters. And I'm going to try and put a FSP, a family survival plan, into action. And I'm going to try and seek out the necessary food, medicine, water, and shelter, and the way you go about setting up these things, because there's a way, just like everything else, okay? Way you go about setting up and preparing for this eventuality, and you store these things away. Now, the concept of living in a post-pandemic world, in a survival situation, my friends, are nothing new. This has happened throughout the passage of time. Entire empires had to survive cataclysmic situation. Let's go back to the Bible when Egypt had 7 years of famine and drought.
Okay? Suppose Egypt
did not have a man of God, which was named Joseph. His name was Joseph, who was foretold of this event, okay, to advise the king. And suppose Egypt, the empire, then Egypt, the Egyptian empire, okay, did not prepare under the leadership of Joseph to fill the barns of Egypt. You think the Egyptian empire would have survived the natural disaster of the day? So surviving and survival are nothing new. So people have to wake up and become mature minded, and people have to start thinking that, you know what, This, if it was possible back in the days of Egypt, and there were other instances. I don't want to make the video too long and show you how knowledgeable I am. This video is not about me, this video is about you. And so if you watch the sequence of how Joseph used his wisdom according to the premonition and the revelations that were given to him by Almighty God to help the king in Egypt and to help the Egyptian people, and he was also able to help his family, his same brothers that threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery, and his father who thought he was dead. He was able to help them. You have to be able to think ahead and be wise and be able not only to help yourself and to the people around you, but to help your family and help others. And so if you start taking up the mantle and the banner and the responsibility of being proactive into imagining right now and start thinking, hey, this thing that Mervyn is telling me is really possible. What if I find myself and my family, we didn't do anything, we find ourselves living in sub-zero temperatures indefinitely, and the whole world outside is filled with radiation, or in hot tropical countries with radiation from a nuclear blast that we had nothing to do with. Now how will we live? Now we have lived by chance. Something happened, we were further or very far away from the initial blast, but now everywhere is filled with radiation. We don't have the clothing, we don't have water storage, we don't have food storage, we don't have medicines, all the pharmacies are closed, everything is out of balance and in chaos because we didn't listen to Mervyn and we didn't prepare a survival plan, a family survival plan for 2023 and beyond. Living in a post-pandemic world, in a survival situation. Okay, so this brings me to the end of my thought-provoking video. You can think what you want, but if you like the idea of this, start a conversation below. Leave your comments in the comment section. I will respond personally. Give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because either speaks to the algorithm to show if you appreciate or don't appreciate the content. And also remember to hit the notification bell above so you know when I upload more survival videos, so you could start preparing in 2023 and beyond. Don't be caught off balance and by surprise. Okay, maybe the surprise will be so shocking that it hit so hard, they happen so fast that you don't even know what hit you and what took place, what happened. Okay, so wisdom, just like how God gave Joseph wisdom in Egypt to save Egypt and his brothers and all of them and his father and his family, and I bet there were other people involved in that didn't record it in the Bible, but just like how Joseph was able to do it. Last but not least, before a situation of survival presents itself to us in the world, you have to take advantage of the availability and the bounteous availability that are present and available to us. Abundance of land, trees growing, sun shining, snow falling, the life cycle is going very well, and everything is in balance because there are no outside interferences. No comets fell from nowhere on no part of the earth. Nobody pressed a nuclear bomb button to go off, and etc. There is no pandemic. All is well. You have to know to prepare now. Take advantage of the availability of the land, of the food stock that are available. Stop buying food just for the week or the 2 weeks, or every 2 weeks, every fortnight. Use your imagination and start looking for food that have a longer shelf life, and that are basically, you can even look for food that are non-perishable food. These are survival and doomsday survival packages. So it all depends on you, my friend. The sky is the limit. You can choose to live or you can choose to die. Joseph, back in Egypt, chose to live and listen to the dream that God gave him. And in the 7 years of abundance, he made haste with the men of Egypt under his command, and they took advantage of the availability of the abundance, and they stored the barns with seeds and of course water and everything that was necessary. And they weathered the Egyptian empire under Joseph, weathered that 7 years of living in a survival situation, real drought and famine. They survived that. Could you imagine an empire surviving 7 years, okay, of drought and famine? That had to be good preparation and planning. And so what they did was prepared every day, every night for 7 years when there was abundance and when everything was normal. There was 7 years of plenty in which they prepared, and then when the 7 years of drought and famine came, this was when they were ready. Okay? So it happened already, and it will happen again, and it will happen in my lifetime and your lifetime. I'm telling you. And if you don't believe it, you will be left behind. Okay? So be wise. Hey, Marvin Timothy Reyes here again. Thank you for watching another video blog of mine. This video about survival and surviving in the jungle, in the forest, because jungle and forest are different. And in jungle, you got two different levels of jungle. You got primary and secondary jungle, and then a urban survival, meaning in the built-up areas, in the villages and towns, and even more difficultly in the cities. Okay, imagine you living in you and your family, husband and wife and 3 little kids, all under the age of 10 years old, and a survival post-pandemic survival situation happen, and you and yourself and your family living in a post-pandemic world, in a survival situation in the middle of a city like Rome. I'm here in Italy. Okay, like Rome, or in like New York City, or in London, okay, or in Mexico City, Hong Kong. Okay, you find yourself there, and it happened already. It happened just recently in the pandemic. Okay, people were in lockdowns because of protocols. Okay, all of us were in lockdown because of protocol. Huh? How did you find that? How did you find living in that situation? Did you have everything in your house? You have to learn from the past, okay? From the recent past. I'm not singing Sankey here. I'm not making a video to look good and sound good. I don't make no video to look good and sound good. I make videos that I'm convinced, that I am knowledgeable about, and that I have lived or have experience about, and that I feel inspired to speak about from an educational perspective, inspirational and motivational perspective. I don't just put on a glove and my jacket and my warm hat to come out here in minus 10, 12, 13, 14 degrees to make a video to sound good. I am telling you that I truly believe that this is going to happen, and I'm using my military years of skills and training, my past experiences, and also my insight into living as a spiritual life and living free from the things of the world like alcoholism and all these things that people are dealing with, and they forget their real higher self, and they're not in tune and in contact and connection with God.
I'm telling you from all of these holistic
perspective
that you've got to prepare, and if
you don't prepare, then
you will be like the people back in the days when Noah came to
them and told them, hey, there's going to be some rain falling down from the skies. It's going to be for 40 days and 40 nights. Nothing will live. But you guys are welcome to help me, and you can come with me on my ark, all of you and your family. And they all laugh. Now you could laugh at this video. Remember, he that laugh last, laugh best. I will never laugh if somebody don't listen to this video. I don't think that Noah laughed. I think Noah was a sad man when he realized he was happy to be alive with him and his sons and their wives and his wife, and he was happy that God chose him. But I think there was a sadness that stayed with Noah to realize that the entire world had died out, and that they had to basically recreate through procreation the human race anew. Okay, Noah was not a happy man laughing that everyone died. Okay, The prophets and the people of God are people that love people. Okay? Now I'm not a prophet, but I'm a man of God, and I love everyone. And I would never make a video to tell you this thing. This thing has been resting on me for a while now. Okay? And so I'm preparing my own family right now. Am I 100% prepared? No, I'm not even 50% prepared. But you know what? In warning you, I'm warning myself. In teaching you, I'm teaching myself. Okay? And I tell you something. The more I speak to you, the more convinced I become. Okay, I will never say something that I don't believe in or I'm not convinced about 100%. And so, the onus is on me to continue preparing my house and my family to withstand the eventuality. Okay, the living in a post-pandemic world in a survival situation. I thank you for watching this video. This is a serious video, and I took my heartfelt time and my day out here to make it for you in the snow. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it gave you a awareness and awakening and a presence of mind, a sense of urgency that it's time to stop sitting down and thinking only about the couch and the TV and the remote and the switches in your house. And all of this are nice things. I love these things too, the modern amenities of life. Who don't love these things? Who don't love pressing buttons and getting things done? Everyone, or on automation. Everyone. We would lie, or we would be lying, okay, if we said we don't all love these things. But we also have to know and be aware, okay, that what if? So what if there's no electricity? What's going to be my source of light? If there's no running water coming through the tap in my house, what's going to be my source of water, and for how long? How clean will that water be? If the pharmacies are closed and there's no access to medicine and somebody at home has a terrible toothache, what's going to be the course of action? And on we can go. Okay? So thinking about all of these things, get your mind and your blood pumping. Okay? Pregnant women, all of these things, I'm going to talk about these things. Okay? What you going to do? How you going to deliver a baby if you can't go to a hospital? Living in a post-pandemic world. You got to know these things. No, am I a midwife? No, I'm not a midwife. But I will do the research for you. I've got a great memory, and I will memorize all of the information, and I will split it to you very orderly, in an orderly and very nice, relaxing and comfortable fashion, that you'll be able to watch it and enjoy it and ingest it and digest it and go and put it into effect. This is what content creation is about. You don't have to know everything to become an expert at everything. I don't know about all those trees out there, but I can go and pick specific trees and read about them. Sit down and read 2 hours about different types of trees and start picking different trees to talk about. And you that don't know about it, it will be fresh and new information. I did the studies. This is what content creators do. We are creators. Okay? You must be a creator, and you must be a person that want the best for yourself and for your family. Not only today and next week and next month, and based on the current visible systems that you see are available to you. Okay? You must think, what if? Okay? My dogs are playing and they're wet. I've got to take them inside and dry them off. Poor things, they're so cold in these sub-zero temperatures, but you need to get some time outside to have some fun. Okay, thank you for watching. Mervyn Timothy Reyes again from mervyntimothyReyes.com. Subscribe to the channel. Check below. I'm creating other channels around other topics that I'm passionate and knowledgeable about. And if you see that any of these can be